Welcome to IBIS Weather. This is Sarah. This is the update for September 6th, 2025. And on this fine Saturday evening, we will go over obviously Hurricane Kiko and Invest 91L and what is going on with them. So we'll go ahead and get started with the official storm, which is Hurricane Kiko. She is still out there rotating and doing her thing. This is a satellite image from her this evening. As you can see, she is still a small hurricane, which is a good news in size. She has weakened some, and you can see what it looks like maybe a little bit of shear going on to her north, which is good news to see, which is probably why she is shearing out. She's also entering a drier environment, as well as she continues to inch closer to Hawaii. So for Hawaii, right now, as I mentioned yesterday and the day before, that the cone would, if you remember, Hawaii was more into cone for the past 2 days, and I was saying that it was going to switch around as the cone shrunk and the track got adjusted. This is a good indication. I mean, this is further proving what it said was true and indicating that's just typically how these work. So again, just a reminder, this cone is just talking about where the center or eye will go around. Again, she will be a tropical storm when she gets close to Hawaii, so she will not be a hurricane. So again, she will not be looking like this anymore. Perfectly formed hurricane. She'll be more sloppy, which is good because it means she's definitely getting weaker. Um, but she will definitely be going closely north of the islands. Of course, that does not mean you guys will not see impacts. You guys definitely get rough surf. I think you're going to start getting your rough surf starting tomorrow night on Sunday. That will be September 7th. And then, of course, cannot rule out rain or wind as well, depending on if the wind can keep pushing those bands offshore coming in from southwest, which is a possibility. Still a little bit too early to know, as she won't be over there by you until about the middle, early to mid next week. So you can see here on the cone, it shows she'll be a tropical storm over there at 8 a.m. Tuesday. So 8 p.m. They still think she'll still be a hurricane at that point, again, when she was starting to get closer to you guys, but she will end up dying out and becoming a tropical storm. And then, of course, she'll be a depression come Tuesday or Thursday, and moving away from the islands. So that's good news. She's currently moving west northwest at 12 miles per hour. Currently has sustained winds of 120 miles per hour as well, not counting the gusts that can be higher than that. The image here shows the orange color being how far out her hurricane force winds, sustained tropical storm force winds come out from her center. And in the X, you can see a little bit where it is more of a red, maroon, and that is how far out the hurricane force winds that are sustained comes out from her. Of course, key messages as I like to share. Again, she's forecast to get close to the Hawaiian Islands early to middle of next week. Current forecast track dimensions. Current forecast track calls for her to pass Northern Islands, saying it's still too early right now to determine the exact location or magnitude of what you guys may feel. So you guys should continue to monitor the progress of her as we go through the rest of this week and into early next week. Obviously, you will be experiencing large swells and rough surf over there in the Big Island and Maui by tomorrow night. They will continue to build up until the peak of getting closer to you guys as well. So listen to any advisories and warnings and National Weather Service issues for you guys as we go on toward her journey getting closer to you guys. Earliest time for possible force of hurricane or tropical storm force winds. So you can see over here, you can see the Big Island does look like it would just be mostly the northern side. And then over there by Maui, it will be definitely more into the whole island and then kind of coasting the edge of the latter islands as well. So Monday morning to Monday afternoon is when, again, the Big Island and Maui will probably have the highest chances of possibly seeing, not highest, but can start possibly seeing tropical storm force winds. And then from Monday night through Tuesday for the rest of the islands as well. And then, of course, as I like to show the spaghetti plots over here, so we do see there is definitely more of a tight cluster of going more to the north as we shown yesterday, which is good news. We do see one model still taking it, kind of cutting or scraping distance, or we'll be scraping the very edge of the Big Island and heading south of the other islands, but very close and very much going over them. But it looks like most of them are thinking that she will stay offshore and just kind of coasts off of you guys, which is a good thing. That was the euro, so this is a GFS, and as you can see here, again, definitely more of a spread, as we mentioned previously before. It has not been doing that good past few years, but again, a majority of them do take it north of the islands, which is good news. Now we'll get back to the topic of Invest 91L. So you can definitely see, as we mentioned yesterday, that it's surrounded by a lot more drier air and is struggling. If you did see my post from earlier today, it's definitely struggling on satellite presentation, which we'll show again in a moment, the current one. And it's definitely shrinking, which, as I mentioned previously, when you see that hatched area shrinking more or less, does indicate that it is weakening. So currently, as of this evening, they are giving it 20% for both 48 hours and 7 days risk of or chance of development, mentioning that the chances of it becoming a tropical depression or a storm are continuing to shrink. That window is closing. It's continuing to move 10 to 15 miles per hour. However, they do mention that interest over there in the Lesser Antilles and the Caribbean should be monitoring. I know AccuWeather has also suggested that that should be continued to be monitored as well. So we'll see what happens with this. It does look positive right now that it is sort of petering out, and looks like that maybe this will not be Gabrielle as we were thinking. So this would be the second wave that we have thought we would see for Gabrielle. That has not become her. So again, we're kind of considering monitor and wait and see. But right now, odds of that are not in the storm's favor. For a satellite view of 91L, definitely sloppy. You're not really seeing a whole lot of convection and not really seeing, starting to rotate or having a good stack. So definitely just kind of a sloppy all over system of thunder showers or still out there. But again, looks like it is continuing to weaken. So that is good news. Of course, Lesser Antilles can still expect possibly some tropical rains coming from this if it continues to sustain itself as it gets closer towards into the middle of next week. For the models, again, does definitely continue to show tracking over there and closer to the Caribbean. There is one that kind of shows it doing a really strange kind of loopity loop. Looks like that is the UK, one of the UK ensembles. And then the others, again, are showing this is the Euro showing it just coasting that way and going over the northern Lesser Antilles. And of course, the Virgin Islands and even Puerto Rico. Now, does that mean that if it lives and survives enough, or even the remnants, if it gets over there in a more conductive environment that can't, again, re-spin up something or try to form, that is possible. We'll just kind of have to continue to wait and see what this one does, but it does look like it's still on the path of impacting at least the Lesser Antilles this week. And then again for the GFS, again kind of showing it being a little bit all over. We've still seen quite a few taking it more out to sea. We do show some, obviously, a very decent amount going over the Lesser Antilles as well, and even some taking over Hispaniola as well. So again, we'll just kind of have to monitor and wait and see what 91L does. And for the bit of again why she's having issues, I say she as if she already formed. So as you can see, she's kind of this messy cluster over here. The yellow and orange are definitely drier air. So the more blue, white, and green are the moist areas. So she is surrounded currently by a lot of dry air. Now, it looks like the driest air is a little bit to her northwest as it continues to track forward. And you can definitely see some more of that coming around, spinning out over here. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But right now, that is why her odds have gone down dramatically as she gets closer to this bigger pocket of dry air. And then, of course, as I mentioned, we are entering the peak of the season. So, again, I kind of want to bring this up. I posted this earlier this week about the global tropics hazards outlook that has been put out by the Climate Prediction Center. So, for this upcoming week through the 16th, you can definitely see they did give the highest chance, or the highest chance of forming something, not the highest, absolute highest chance, but like a chance of something actually developing 20% and less over there closer to Cabo Verde Islands, which is kind of what was seen with Invest 91L does definitely seem to be the case. Not really much of a chance to go closer to the Antilles. And of course, over there in the Gulf and the Caribbean, you also see chances. 20% as or less as well. So we haven't seen anything for him there. Doesn't mean it won't, but something to monitor. And then, of course, that chance stays over there in the Gulf for the week of September 17th through the 23rd. And then we do see the hatched area. Of the main development region for Atlantic hurricanes had expanded, and then, of course, a 40% chance over there closer to the Antilles, between the Cabo Verde Islands and the Antilles, which is important to know as we are starting to see more waves, or monsoons that will come off become waves as we continue to climb that meteorological peak of hurricane season. So, short video today because, one is essentially dying off and we don't really expect much of it anymore. Kiko is a weakening, and we still don't have quite full idea of the impacts that you guys will see over there in Hawaii just yet. But good news. It looks like the center will stay away from you guys, but you can expect some impacts. So again, you'll probably remember the storm, Hurricane Kiko, but it's better than what it could be. So we'll continue to see, and then we'll wait and see what happens in the next 2 weeks of hurricane season as well to see what happens. So thank you guys for listening. Please feel free to share, like, and follow and comment. You can also follow me on Facebook, where I do post a little bit more frequent updates on there than I do here on YouTube. And I will gladly continue to help cover the season for you guys as we inch closer toward the end of it come the end of November. And, we'll also talk about some other weather stuff as well. I have not forgotten about my other ideas that I have that I've been wanting to post, so don't worry about that. Those are still coming. And if you have any suggestions or anything you want, opinions on, or, commentary research, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to look into that for you guys and give it to you. So thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you guys next time.